Howdy folks, TJ here. It's time to play, well, explore and chat about the Aquarius Plus just a little bit more. You see, I've been contemplating when am I going to bring up my Aquarius up again? What am I going to do next? Well, in my current videos that I've posted already, I did an unboxing. I did a first test kind of thing where I played some games and did that. So what's next? What's next for me is I keep abreast of the Aquarius Facebook groups. There's the original Aquarius group, and then there's the Aquarius Plus group. So make sure, and I'll put the link down below, to join the Aquarius Plus group if you want to keep abreast of all the current information. Just by reading that alone, I know there's some possible updates that have come out since I've received my Aquarius, and maybe it's time for me to start exploring those. Firmware update possibly, other stuff, I don't know. But maybe a good place is to check the official page here, the GitHub, as they would say. What's Git stand for? Git, you're a Git. Get over here. Hey, maybe that's what it means. Get over here. Read this stuff. There's a lot of stuff on here. So I'm viewing it kind of for a second time, maybe a first time. I've been here before, but I didn't peruse it properly. So let's peruse it together. I don't think in this video I'm going to do anything of plugging in the Aquarius and doing anything, but let's see, is it time to do some things? And let's also recap what the heck is an Aquarius Plus, in case this is the first time you're watching this video. So come learn and explore with me. So when I get to this GitHub, see, my brain, I understand what GitHub is about, but do I? Do I really? It's above my pay grade. I'm just a dude. I like playing with old stuff. Now, I don't want to cut myself short. Sometimes I may be able to add some good information into the equation and like, hey, I'm surprised TJ knew that. So I'm not adult, but I'm not no programmer. I'm not the magician that makes all these hardware devices and all that. But I use things enough and explore enough to where, yeah, I guess I learned some stuff along the way. But I am still, I consider an Aquarius noob, even though I've owned an original one for a while, because I've just touched the surface of what these computers can be, and the Aquarius Plus is a whole new mix. So let's look. I look at this page and it looks a little cryptic. You've got code, issues, pull requests. Let me focus in on the screen. I may blur up a little bit when I do that, but I want to give you the best opportunity. And I made everything on the screen huge, so you can probably see it. I'm not going to do any of those HDMI ripping out and stuff and putting it up there. That's not what I'm about. You're just at my home, looking over my shoulder. That's my whole MO for my videos. And it comes in good enough for you to kind of get a gist of what's going on. So, yeah, this is GitHub. Issues, pull requests, actions, projects, wiki, security, and insights. Those are all the things on the top there. And then you've got all this other stuff, and it looks like a directory of some kind. This directory is kind of like a directory of your Windows or Mac. Some people may call them folders. I like calling it folders, but sometimes you get slapped on the wrist. No, it's not a folder, it's a directory. Well, it's a freaking folder. It's a peachy, what do you call those peachy little folders you take to high school and you stick all your stuff? Peachies? Peachy folders? Something like that. Had the little sports running guy on it, and they were yellow, orangey color. Anyway, GitHub workflows, end user, maker, SDK, system, and then some single files, Clang format, Git, Nor, Git modules, and README. So a lot of this stuff immediately, probably if you're not super techie, you're going to say, well, I could probably go over here, and this says updated Mandrill bot. You know, every damn computer has to do a Mandrill bot thing, right? That's really a geeky, you got to do that to show off the power of the computer. And then there's char map tweaks, support for multiple disks, always return. See, so some of this stuff will be gibberish to the commoner, but needless to say there, you may need to, for example, Sean or somebody may say at some point, go to the end user and click on it. And I'm going to click on it. I don't know if this will take me someplace. You see how it changed the directory? Now I've got fixes, images, and all sorts of stuff in here. I'm not going to use any of it now, but I wanted to just show you. It looks like, and it explains what it is in general terms. And there's other URLs or links that you'll click, hyperlinks that you'll click on to go there. But let's go back up to the main code. Because I started seeing a pretty, is that purple or blue? Is that the official Aquarius blue? It looks a little different to me. Maybe it's because it's got a black background. I've got my dark mode going on my iPad. But Aquarius Plus, next generation Z80 based retro computer. So this is the documentation, kind of your manual per se. And for documentation, please click on the wiki. So if I clicked on this, I would go to the wiki. I don't want to go to the wiki right now, but we'll go to that later. Abstract. What would the Aquarius have evolved into? So I think I may have briefly went in this on the unboxing video. I don't remember. But this is giving you a what the heck Aquarius Plus is. A nice, big, beautiful picture of it. Now I happen to own one, so I can show you, and you've seen it. It's a beautiful little specimen. And it's got my SD card in there, already rock and roll. And this is basically an Aquarius platform on steroids. That's what it is. And then it talks about features. So it looks, and I think I kind of read some of the stuff before, or I printed it out and I read it off. But it's talking about what the features of the Aquarius Plus is. I'm not going to ramble on that. You can read these for yourself, but it tells you everything about Bluetooth connectivity. Do you know this has got Bluetooth built in? And with Bluetooth built in, you can actually get a Xbox wireless controller and connect to it and play some games. I haven't done that yet. So that will be a future video when I own an Xbox controller, because I don't own one. But anyway, those are things that we'll get to explore together later. Folder structure. It looks like a description. End user. These files are meant for the normal end user that just wants to play and work with the system. You can find some nice sample programs, games, music to run on the system. So that one maybe some of you commoners like me will check it out. Maker. Files required for makers to manufacture and assemble an Aquarius Plus system. So if you want to make your own and buy the board and do all that, there's some maker information. SDK, if you want to develop your own software for the Aquarius Plus, you're going to click on SDK. People like Jay Mundy is probably living inside the SDK folder because he makes all sorts of stuff for Aquarius. So I'm guessing he's got a little bunk bed set up in there and he's ready to rock and roll, learn more. And then system. This contains all other files related to the system, including schematics, PCB, FPGA, ESP32, and the emulator. So that's the end of the screen. It's kind of dead-ending me. And it looks like, I'm not going to go check out issues. Needless to say, this is a continuously evolving product that's getting tweaked, enhanced. So maybe some that are in that realm will post issues of what's going on. I mean, I guess we could click on it. Emulator is starting with memory randomly filled. Cannot pair my Xbox One wireless controller with Bluetooth. There you go. That one I may look at later. Xbox controller won't pair with a different Aquarius Plus. So yeah, some more information. Pull requests. I'm just clicking on it. There aren't anything in there. Actions. Looks like there's a whole bunch of actions. 67 workflow runs. This is a place for gearheads, for techies, for people that are working on this to have a central hub, as you say, get over here and work your ass off and do stuff. They're going to come in here and do these things, and it makes all of our lives much better in the end for end users. So there's lots of actions that look like they're going on. I don't know if they're done. There's green check marks next to them, so I'm guessing that means either they're in progress or it's checked. We did it. I don't know. If you're a pro at Wiki, post down below and you can let us know. Projects, none open. Wiki. So here's the Wiki. This is got all sorts of welcome to the Aquarius Plus Wiki. Wiki's a wonderful online where you can learn things about stuff, but don't always believe a wiki. Sometimes, like for example, you could go to a wiki about TJ Ferreira and he's just a clean, svelte-looking man with no beard. He's a gorgeous actor. That's not me. So don't always believe a wiki, but most of the time they're probably pretty accurate. I mean, I am good looking though, but you know what I'm saying. So wiki. So there's user wiki, artist wiki, developer wiki, maker wiki, designer wiki. So there's all sorts of stuff. Let's just click on the user one for the hell of it. Welcome to the Aquarius user guide. So here's a user guide. You will want to view this or print it out Now, I don't know. I think there's some ways that you can print out these things and kind of make your own book in the end. I've never done that. I don't have enough paper in the house. But needless to say, there's probably ways for you printer people to print this out. I don't know if there's an easy one button click on it and it sends it out the PDF. That's something maybe if I explore and find out, or somebody tells me, yes, TJ, you could do that, then I'll make a future video on that because maybe you'd like to do that. But specifications, acquiring Aquarius, so all sorts of fun stuff in here. It doesn't look elaborately long, but there's lots of links in here that dive you deeper in the rabbit hole when you click on these, and it will take you probably to someplace else. So beware, just because you only see a certain amount of info on the main screen doesn't mean there's not lots to be had still. So let's go back. So yeah, the wiki is a wonderful dropping off point for you to, as a user, an artist, and all this to explore. Security, let's just we'll go through them all. So nothing and insights. It looks like a graphs type of things and letting you know what's going on. Let's go back to code briefly. And I think we went all the way down to the bottom here, right? Yeah. So at this point, end user, and there are some files. Now I know there's something about a firmware update. Is there a search on this thing? Search and jump to firmware. No idea if this would work. I'm giving it a go. Firmware. Cannot pair my Xbox wireless controller. Okay, so that it's giving me cryptic, but let's click on it. Maybe in here there's something. I can't seem to pair my Xbox One controller as soon as I turn on the controller. Blah, blah, blah. Only Xbox Series SX controllers support Bluetooth. The older Xbox does not. To update your firmware. So there is something. I found it. It didn't clearly say at the top, just because it doesn't say, dummy, this is the firmware update, do it. It cryptically found a thread about Bluetooth. And then now in here it says to update your firmware, Frank, I think is his name, FVD Wolf. Here's how to update your firmware. So let's click it. And let's see if it takes you to an explanation. Oh, what's this? Oh, shit. No, it's telling me to go to a firmware update for Xbox. I don't have an Xbox thingy. So no, this cryptic illusion, I was thinking this firmware update would be for the Aquarius. I know there's one out there. So that's not it. I have just updated the wiki to include this info. So no, this did not dive me down the proper rabbit hole. Is there anything in some of these things that talk about, maybe I should go to the user manual. End user. So where was I before? Pull request actions. Wiki. Let's go to the wiki. User. Choose this path if you're new to Aquarius or just want to interact with it as an end user. Some basic programming is included, but mainly as means of getting around and trying the Aquarius. Artist, developer. Is there anything in here that magically jumps out and says firmware? No, but let's click on user. I don't know if this is going to take me down the path I wanted to go. Talks about emulator. I'm just quickly scanning my eyes over the page. Acquiring an Aquarius, emulator, hardware. No. Interacting with Aquarius. Aquarius Quick Start. Guide to hardware as well as how to program and save applications. Developer. Maker. Designer. Conclusion. So I may have to pillage this offline because you don't want to sit here and watch me for hours try to find info about the firmware update. So let me stop the camera. This was you and me kind of trying to find, we know there's going to be a firmware update, right? There's probably something newer than what I have on my box. So let me turn it off. Let me eventually tell you how I found info about the firmware. I would have figured typing in firmware up here would have found other hits. I don't know if it's just because I'm not in the right place. Let's try it one more time. I went back to the main firmware. Yeah, it's still that same one. And so let me stop the recording. I'll come back and let's find info about the firmware. We'll read it a little bit and get prepared because I think my next video I'll make how to update your firmware or me doing it for the first time. How's that? Hold tight. Okay, I found it in a little bit of a roundabout way. I actually went into the Aquarius Plus group, a Facebook group, as I mentioned, and I remember reading something about a firmware update, and you could do it over Wi-Fi because there's also a way I think you could do it by opening up the case and stuff, but that's more work. So, yes, I want to set up my Wi-Fi in this, and I don't remember if I've done it yet. So, I looked in the wiki, and under Wi-Fi, there was a link, and that's where I am now, and it talks about it. So, my thoughts is that maybe they should add over here, for a dummy like me, something that says the word firmware over there, firmware update. Maybe it's someplace else, but I'm just not seeing it readily available. But here it says you can set up your Wi-Fi by running the settings program from the basic prompt. I think I did that, but I don't remember. So I'm going to go through it again later in the next video. So next video will be set up Wi-Fi and then check out a firmware update. Let's keep reading. So it talks about how to do it, and it looks like it's a simple run command, ESP:/settings, and you can update or set up your Wi-Fi, it looks like. It talks about, this will open the settings program. Here you could type in help to see a listing of all available commands. To set up your Wi-Fi, use the Wi-Fi set command. So there's some commands. It tells you what to type, and you do it. Talks about host name. The Aquarius Plus will register itself on your network AQ Plus as a host name. And then it talks about Wi-Fi functions. Down here, it says updating the firmware of your Aquarius via Wi-Fi from GitHub. So that's where I was seeing it before, and I just didn't remember it's under Wi-Fi. So it talks about how to do it here. And it looks like, at least from when this was last talked about, it says the name of the tag can be found on the release page next to a little icon or tag, for example, version 10. I think they're up to like 19. So let's go to release pages. Aquarius emulator and firmware. Looks like you can download it. But if you get your Aquarius on Wi-Fi, you should be able to, I guess, do this. So I'm going to, in the next video, connect to Wi-Fi, my Aquarius Plus to Wi-Fi, and then try this firmware update. Why do I want to do it? Well, just because I want to be up to date. But I think there's some things that maybe it fixes. I'm sure any update that comes out is either fixing a bug or adding a new feature. So you want to keep up to date. So I will follow this and I'll make a video and you can see how I fare in the next video. But today was all about, you get out your user manual, dummy, and you're going to read it. I don't have a printed one, but in the world of GitHub and Wiki, it has all the information here. If I figure out an easy way to, and I'm just not seeing the screen, but maybe there's an easy way to print out complete listings from GitHub for manuals and stuff, I'll make a video on that. But for now, that's what this video was about. What's my next step? Well, next step is to dive a little deeper into the Aquarius Plus, learn it a little bit more. Let's do a firmware update. After that, I'm going to have to set up Wi-Fi and then do the firmware update. After I get that updated, are there any new things, files, programs I can put on the SD card that mine doesn't have? Sean was gracious enough to put a whole bunch of stuff on there, but maybe there's some new things. One of the new capabilities of the Aquarius Plus is to add your own character sets to newer games for the Aquarius Plus. I know Mr. Peels, I believe, is making a program that lets you make your own graphic figures that you can use in your own video game creation, and make it basically a character that could be pulled and utilized within a Aquarius game. So those are all things I can't wait to explore. More than your typical spaceship in an Aquarius game, I can make my own. So all things down the road, but hopefully this video you found it entertaining, informative, because maybe you didn't realize this was here for your perusal. And if you did, you may have forgot it. You're old like me, or lazy, just didn't get off your keister and go check out it. So check it out, learn it. Have you done a firmware update? So maybe it's time. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great weekend. Bye.